Das Badanya, visionaries. I have a new episode of the Old 52, where we're talking about number ones of previous series, and discuss them again, I guess. They're brought to you by my comic book, The Red Knight. Issue 5 is currently out. Issue 6 should hopefully be out next month. You could order the comic off primalpapercomics.com, as well as my own Etsy shop. They'll be listed below. And new for Primal Paper Comics is The Ends number 1 by Jeff Hewitt. It's an awesome new series. You should buy both. Now, let's talk about an old awesome comic. And this is from '93, I think? Yes, it is. This is from DC Milestone Icon number 1 by Dwayne McDuffie. And M.D. Bright is the penciler on this. Now, this, I believe, was the first regular series. They all came out pretty close to each other. I think what the intent was to... if I'm not mistaken, there was like some kind of story, some special kind of preview, or not preview, or prequel, that talks about the Big Bang that happened near Dakota, which caused a whole bunch of people with superpowers and stuff like that. But Icon actually wasn't one of those people. He is a play on the Superman myth, where he is an alien come down to our Earth, and when he crashes down, it's during slavery times, and what he needs to do is reshape himself to look like human, so he'd be incorporated into, society. What he picks is when he's discovered by the first person, his machine transforms him into that person. But yeah, he basically starts the first maybe generation of his life as a slave and grown up as a slave. Cut to the present very quickly, actually. And he's the rich lawyer, Augustus Freeman, who is apparently just as conservative as Rush Limbaugh. Now, this is 1993 Rush Limbaugh. I don't know if McDuffie meant for him to be characterized as a dick, but, who knows. And, let's see, he's beginning to wonder about the way, crime is handled, and what are the root causes of crime. Speaking of crime, some teenagers break into his house, his huge mansion, and one of them is this girl named Raquel, who fancies herself as hopefully being a writer someday. She's a little bit of a romantic in some regards, but hey, Augustus finds them and scares the shit out of them when he starts flying around in his pajamas that kind of resemble his costume, green and red. Apparently he hasn't really kind of caught on to the whole secret identity thing, because this is his house, and, he's in full view of them, so he scares the piss out of them, they run away. But Raquel is actually inspired by this, where she creates the persona Icon, and Rocket, she wants to be a sidekick, Rocket, and it's her idea that maybe they can fight crime together. And he decides this is kind of a time in his life where he's going, maybe, I don't know, what the heck. So they go about and do it. The end of the issue occurs when they come to this huge riot scene where cops are all out, and they're going to rush in, so they stop to say, hey, we're here to help, and then suddenly the cops draw their fire on them. With Rocket saying, I bet this never happens to Superman. This is really, really good. And this is actually my second favorite Milestone book, right after Static, actually. And it's a really interesting series as well. The art, I think, is a little bit maligned because of the color scheming. I believe that has a lot to do with kind of like 90s coloring you'd see in a lot of early 90s and late 80s kind of comics, where they were kind of figuring out like a new method of inking, and sometimes it just comes off a little too blotty, but otherwise the actual art itself looks really good. And particularly scenes of his cape. His cape definitely does have a kind of McFarlane 90s quality to it. I mean, look how fucking big that thing is. But I enjoy Rocket, actually. I think she was the breakout star of this series, because she was the one who pretty much had the vision, where this guy had the powers. I enjoyed this quite a bit. The dialogue is classic McDuffie. I mean, Duffy was really talented, and a lot of human dialogue that really came across. So if you can find this, I don't know if this is traded or not. It's probably out of print. Definitely see if you can pick this up. These comics aren't too expensive. You can find them pretty cheaply, either online or your local comic store. Icon number 1. Push the button, Lindsay.